Oh, here we go. List of nominations. Here we go. Oh, according to the critics, Big Eyes is doing really well, but I just want to check. Whoa, 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 whoa. Where's Amy Adams? Okay. Right, okay. Alright. Kristoff isn't even there either? What? None? No nominations whatsoever? No. No nominations? What? Whoa, what? Great! And now, Keira Knightley has been nominated. Damn them. Damn them all to hell! So now, for Planet of the Apes trivia, here's Taj.
Mark Wahlberg joined the film after only 5-minute discussion with Tim. In all fairness, it wouldn't take me 5 minutes.
I'd be crying and I would pass out at the same time. I'd be like, yes, just please. It's just a bit of a fangirl. I think I would cry a bit more than you.
Oh yeah.
In all fairness. Although you weren't there at Albert Hall, my real reaction was like, oh my god, that's Tim!
Tim quoted that he had a fear of monkeys, especially chimps, so the film didn't help.
Yeah, I can kind of understand that. I don't mind monkeys.
No, I think...
Well, I wouldn't like them climbing all over me, so...
What? You don't want to be hugged by a little monkey?
Hugged fine, but...
Oh.
When they kind of mess around with your hair.
Tarzan, he's like picking at his moustache and everything. I wouldn't like that.
No.
I had a meerkat do that to my coat once. I had a fur coat and he was just picking at my coat.
Yeah.
Oh, fun times. Tim broke his ribs during filming and Michael Duncan sprained his ankle and was brought to hospital in his full gorilla makeup.
Sounds painful.
Sounds quite funny actually, coming in full monkey outfit.
Poor guy.
Oh, poor doctors and nurses, blimey!
I think as far as Tim's ribs are concerned, I think he was trying to demonstrate like an ape to do something or like Michael to do something, and it just obviously did not go well.
One ending was considered that Leo crash landed in the Yankee Stadium with apes playing baseball.
That would be funny. That would be quite funny.
No, it sounds too much like the Casper beginning of the movie. Have you seen Casper Meets Wendy?
Yes.
Sounds too much like that. I don't really be watching that again.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of people are confused by the ending, but surprisingly, the first time I saw it, I wasn't. Were you confused? Because I wasn't.
Well, no, it's kind of like Back to the Future. It's like you change the history of the past or the future.
It kind of depends on like how how well you are with time travel. So that's what.
In all fairness, though, the hairy, like the ape Lincoln didn't mean that was to the original Lincoln. He's hairy anyway.
Oh, cool. Well, it's kind of hard to talk about this one because a lot of people seem to consider it or most unpopular Tim Burton movie or the most forgettable one or whatever you want to say. Well, what I wanted to know is like what Tim thinks of this particular project, so I'm gonna go to the chapter. Planet of the Apes. Okay, so he says that yes, it was a huge risk, probably more than Batman, because let's face it, the original was such a classic, and that's one of the rules, don't do a classic. But knowing that it wasn't necessarily a remake was helpful, because then you can just focus on the material. And there was something very strange about talking apes. What was intriguing to me about it was the simplicity of the idea, the reversal. I've done a lot of stuff with masks and makeup, but there was something about the ape-human thing that was primal. And it was intriguing to see these great actors sort of being apes. It was kind of absurd, but there was also something kind of classical about it. It kind of goes back to an older style before films of mask acting. Now this is something that intrigued me, and something that I do actually really appreciate from this film, because this was made in 2001, and again, this is probably going back to what I said with Sleepy Hollow. Other directors, if this project was handed over to another director, chances are they would have used CG. In fact, 20th Century Fox was pretty much, well, I think kind of trying to kind of recommend it, or thinking, hey, we should do CG because it's the most popular thing right now. Tim? No, he goes the classic way. He does actors in makeup, and you know what? I really appreciate that, and I'm glad they did it, because really, I liked the performances in this movie. And, you know, some might argue about some actors, but to me, the acting still came through all that makeup. And I watched a video of behind the scenes on literally like how many hours it took them to do this, the prosthetics, just everything. And also how long it took them to get it all off at the end of the day. And so, one, you gotta appreciate that. You gotta appreciate the makeup artists. This is Rick Baker we're talking about, and he's very talented. And at the same time, these actors managed to still kind of sort of play it quite subtly, but at the same time do the animalistic thing. And this is something that I appreciate, and this is something that I also liked about this one. Whereas the original, they focus on, it was mainly like, literally they're acting like humans mainly, just a little hint of apes, you know, but not too much. This was where it was sort of split half and half. Half human, half ape from these apes. So it was like they were you sort of kind of saw the evolving strategy, and that's something that I really found interesting. Now this might be from my theatre studies, because when I was doing theatre studies, animalism was such a big part. You know, so any kind of play that we were studying, we had to do, like if they were an animal, what animal would they be? Then we would have to play a scene where we're that full animal. We had to go full animalistic for this. Then, when we had to kind of turn it down a notch, bring the human side, say the lines, sort of half the animal, half the human. So for example, there was one where I was Stanley in Streetcar Named Desire. All-girls school, here we go. And I imagined him as a wild boar, so there was me kind of just hunched over the table, just like snorting and just, you know, just kind of being really disgusting and violent and stuff. Then we redid the scene again where we put the dialogue in there, and to me that really helped. And I think seeing actors do that, especially on film, I find that really fascinating, particularly because of the whole theory of evolution and stuff. It's really interesting, because if you really think about it, yeah, I believe in evolution. I'm one of those people who do. And, you know, it's interesting when we kind of, when I see films that try to explore that. I love people that just go completely crazy, but at the same time, there's still that kind of subtle, you know, you can see into their eyes, they can still emote. You know, they can still emote. And I like the visuals of the movie. I think it was really nice. I think it was shot in parts of it on a soundstage, parts of it in Hawaii. And it's really good. It's really creative. I love how the Ape City is not just, it was actually quite vertical, excuse me. But, where it sort of looked like, you know, apes can really kind of travel not just across to another place, but up and down and stuff. There were many levels and stuff like that. So I thought that was really cool. And, you know, and I love the scene with, I'm going to pronounce his name wrong, but, oh god, Paul, let me just have a look. I think his name was mentioned here. He played the orangutan who owns the slave trader thing. Paul Giamatti or something like that. I know who he is. I've seen him in a few others. I love that scene. You know, I love the idea that, you know, it's a business and everything. Can't remember much of the original. And I love the action scenes. I thought the action scenes were really, really good and, you know, really well done. And Danny Elfman's music certainly helped. And I quite like, you know, I will admit, the characters are not the most interesting, but I still felt for them a little bit. And what I liked about, I know some people, you're gonna start judging on Mark Wahlberg. I understand if you don't like him very much, you know, but at the same time, I don't. There are some movies where he's okay, and some movies where, like, he's actually funny. And in this one, I don't mind him in this one because, hey, if I was in that situation, I'll be like, you know, he had that constant, what the fuck's going on? And you'd be kind of like, yeah, I just want to get out. You know, I would have that constant mind stream. And that's what I like, that's what I found quite interesting about the character and the story, is that, you know, it's not like quite like the Moses story. Some people get confused with that. But he's not doing this like, oh, you know, there's, you know, he's gonna be a leader and everything. He's kind of forced into it. He's kind of like, yeah, okay, this is pretty much what I'm gonna have to do just to get out, you know. And it's like, you know, it's kind of interesting with that. And it's like, you know, even when he's trying to find his ship, he's only doing it to find his ship. It's like, yeah, okay, I'll tag along these people with me, but I just want to get out. But to be honest, if I was in that situation, I would be like that, to be honest. And the supporting characters are okay. Like, Ari was pretty good. I liked, you know, the sort of, you know, again, like, this is something, you know, we got two outsiders, and I did see a kind of bond between her and Captain Leo, so I liked that. And, you know, it's not... I really don't mind it. I actually quite enjoy it, and I've seen a handful of people who do like this movie, and I think most of them, what they get out of it is the makeup, and it feels like a classic movie to me, and that's what, to them, and that's what I get behind it, because if it was brought to another director, I think it would have been CG and everything. So you're probably asking me about the more recent ones. I know they're doing motion capture, thank you very much, I just reminded myself. I know they're doing motion capture, so I don't mind that, you know, there are and the point is that actors are doing a performance, but the problem with motion capture, particularly when you're turning them into not human, sometimes you use motion capture, so I don't mind motion capture animated films where, you know, the humans are moving like humans, that's fine. That's fine. You know, motion capture, sometimes, I don't know, it just depends on how it comes out as. And the more recent Planet of the Apes films, yeah, I know they're actors, but they just, the CG doesn't come across that well for me. So I can always tell it's computers, which is kind of a shame, but, you know, I don't mind those movies, but at the same time, I just think that Tim Burton's one did pretty much what the classic did, and with using real actors. And not only that, kind of pushed it a bit so there was a little bit more animalism. So I think I really liked that. And the visuals are really good, you know, and I think it was just the fact that once the critics got hold of it, they were just always seeing it as a remake. I don't see it as a remake, I see it as just, it's the same concept, but it's a completely different story. So, you know, keep that in mind, people. It's got the same idea of apes taking over the world, but, you know, it's kind of like, or a Planet of the Apes. But, you know, just don't think of it as a remake, because I don't think Tim himself, he said, it's not a remake, it's not a remake. Because if he was doing a remake, if he was attacking it like a remake, he wouldn't have done it. Because he was like, well, I like the classics, I like the sequels, so he is a fan. So, you know, that's what I get behind it, and that's what I get behind it, and I really do enjoy it. I enjoy the classic, as much as anyone does, but I do like this version and appreciate it as well. Okay, so, oh yeah, I forgot. One person asked me to talk about the ending. Now, apparently a lot of people had a problem with the ending because it was a cliffhanger. Oy. Okay, technically, the classic gave us okay, a more clearer answer. But at the same time, I thought it always ended on a sort of a cliffhanger. You know, I didn't feel like, oh, that's the ending. Oh, okay, I'm satisfied with the ending. No, I felt like, you know, a lot of people could talk about it. And I think that's what... And surprisingly, Tim Burton's ending is actually closer to the original novel. Yes. So, I'm just putting it out there. I never had a... First time I saw it, never had a problem with it. Didn't have a problem with it at all. In fact, it's kind of nice that, you know, movies don't have to, you know, give us clear answers all the time. You know, I think Inception wouldn't have had a strong ending if they didn't leave us on a cliffhanger. You know, whether the spinning top rolled down and everything. Some children's movies leave on a cliffhanger, so I don't know what everyone was going on about. Maybe it's because it was confusing. I didn't find it confusing. I kind of knew what was going on. I know some people took it a second look and they were like, oh, I get it now, that's fine. But I don't know, I didn't have a problem with it. Maybe it's because I watch quite a lot of space movies and I watch a lot of time travel movies, so maybe I get it. But, you know, I have no problem with it whatsoever. No problem. Again, I haven't got... Yeah, it's not his best movie, but, you know, at the same time, there's still a lot to appreciate from it, and there's still something to take away from it. I didn't feel like, oh, I wasted my time, or, oh, it's so unethical, like it's teaching, like, horrible... No! No. There are far more worse movies out there, my friends, okay? Far worse. I think it's... Again, a lot of people see it as a remake. I don't. It's just the same concept. It's sort of like... You know, I see the other Planet of the Apes movies, like the Rise of the Planet of the Apes. I didn't see that as a remake. It's just a retelling of it. Well, okay, fine. Some people see it as a prequel. I just see it as a... I don't know. I just see it as another version of the story. That's all I get behind it. So, you know, it depends on how it is. But I hope that you enjoyed this review, and just take another look at it. Just give it another try and see what you think. Because I don't think... You know, like I said, I mean, yeah, I might, after my Burton marathon, after all these reviews, I might go back to my top 10s and I might do my top 10 worst movies. If you want to see that, you know, give it a thumbs up, say you want to, but yeah, so, yeah. So, I hope that you enjoyed this review, and I will see you guys in the next review. Bye!